Hello, my friend. This is Clyde. No joke. God is the best friend ever. I want to talk to you about God, the friend. Undoubtedly, He is the most valuable friend that you could ever find. Please don't cut me off just yet. Give me a few moments of your precious time and let me get you to change your mind about God. You see, some of us keep God on the tail end of our list of friends, but when we are done talking today, you are bound to change your mind. I want to start with a crowd, speaking specifically of the people of Israel. Solomon was the third king in the list of monarchs in Israel, and he had the privilege of building the first real temple for the Jewish people. That was 4,000 years ago. It was a sight to behold, standing majestically on one of the hills in the capital city, Jerusalem. On the day of the grand opening, an elaborate event was planned with a thunderous procession through the streets carrying the iconic Ark of the Covenant to be placed in the most sacred room in the brand new temple. That was carried out with military and ecclesiastical precision. And then the ceremony began with grand music featuring the orchestra and a huge choir. Well, what do you know? God, who they were singing about, did something that just blew their minds. In the middle of the song, God appeared. Then the temple of the Lord was filled with a cloud, and the priests could not perform their service because of the cloud, for the glory of the Lord filled the temple of God. Whoever heard of a cloud turning up at the grand opening of a temple? This was real because God, who considered the people of Israel his friends, was so pleased with the worship that day that he came down to hang out with them. That was quite something, wasn't it? Maybe before I go any further, I should take something from God's resume that might help you to understand what I'm talking about. One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin. But there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Proverbs 18 and verse 24. Imagine having a friend who is closer to you than your flesh and blood, your best and favorite brother. God is even closer, my friend. In that story of the temple, the worship was so beautiful and important to God that he came down to hang out with the people who were worshiping him, his friends. And if you question what I'm talking about, here is another description of the friendship with God. You make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. Psalm 16 and verse 11. It doesn't get better than this. That every time you and God get together as friend with friend, that time is described as a moment of joy. And it gets better. The writer says that I experience eternal, immense pleasure when I'm in your presence. You know what I'm talking about. Not only does God regard time with you as special, that he will take time to come hang with you, especially when you are preoccupied with him, but there are other things. It's as if he reasons that if you will take the time to not just think about him, but to worship him, then he says, I need to show up so we both can have a good time together. He enjoying your worship and you enjoying his very presence. Sounds like an exciting experience to me. God is personable. God loves interacting with his friends. Remember when he had made the first pair of humans, Adam and Eve? God used to visit them daily and hang out with them, and from all appearances, they enjoyed entertaining God too. But they messed up really bad, and that daily visit with God ended. But God has always wanted to change that back to the original. God wanted to have real precious time with people because people are important to him. So, as part of the package of salvation that we receive when we accept Jesus into our heart, God gives each of us an opportunity to push our relationship with Him to a whole nother level. I'm going to read something that shows you how important our friendship with God really is. Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person and they with me. Revelation 3 and verse 20. That is unbelievable, but trust me, it is true. God, your friend, wants to spend time with you, so He paints this vivid picture to represent what's going on. He is standing outside your door and knocking. You have the option of letting in your friend, and He guarantees you that when He comes in, you can be hospitable. But the key thing is that He is visiting to have friend and friend time with you, because He knows it brings you joy and He enjoys the time with you as well. I highly recommend this friend. He and I have been friends for a long time, and I would not trade my friend Jesus for nothing in the world. I can tell you of his kindness, second to none. He's a friend who answers prayers, and in fact, he tells me that I can call him anytime, any day. God is that friend who is always looking out for your best interest. And especially because He's God and you are important to Him, He steps in on your behalf at any time. Oh, and one final thing about God, the greatest friend ever. Right now, I can tell you that He is putting things in place for the day when He comes back to earth for His friends, who you call Christians, to come live with Him in heaven forever. 1 Thessalonians 4:15 to 17. This is the culmination of the friendship with God, my friend. You cannot refuse such a friend. You cannot.